Hey everyone, my name is Tori, and today I have a plan with me for the week of February the 27th through March the 3rd in my Hobonichi Cousin. And I'm going to be using some stickers from an AliExpress order that I purchased like 2 years ago almost, and then some stickers from a sticker book from Hobby Lobby from the Paper Studio brand. It's the Farmhouse sticker book, and it comes with 30 sheets and 1,088 pieces. So I wanted to continue the kind of theme that I was doing in my March monthly plan with me because it goes into March this week. And I use like greener greens, more vibrant greens in the March layout of the month, but in this one, I was trying to use up these stickers, so they were a little bit darker. And I try to use like the leafy greens, like if you can see that palm frond at the bottom, kind of laying on the middle. I saved that for later in the video, and I try to use all the leafy, darker bits first. So I start on my sidebar, and I'm gonna try not to like completely critique myself this whole video, but I don't like the way I drove that horizontal line of the habit tracker, and I thought I'd try something different by tracking it through dots on this graph. So far, I don't hate it, but it's also it's just not a format that I've seen before, and I don't know what compelled me to do that. And then I always do a highlight of the day on the sidebar as well. And I was just trying to see like if it would fit in this circular leaf pattern, and it doesn't quite. I should have used the other one, but you'll live and you'll learn, you know? So I wrote down my highlights, and then I put the days of the week under that as well. And the pen I am using, I believe, is the Zebra Fountain Pen. I think there's like a more specific name for it, but I'll have it in the description box below. I'm not quite sure. It's something like Fountain Sations or something, but it gives you like the fountain pen effect and ink without having to buy a very expensive or like $30 fountain pen. Like this was $2. So the leaves that I put at the top, I just trimmed off that stem on that side, and I was trying to like figure out different kinds of placements for the leaves that I wanted, and I ripped that one in half on accident, and then it was giving me trouble when I moved it over, so it ended up not being able to cut it. I just tucked it on the other side. So after I laid down all the stickers that I had in front of me, I just labeled out my work days. I'm a librarian, so this is like my current work schedule. I work from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Wednesdays, and then usually I work from 8 a.m. to 4:30 on Thursdays and have a 3-day weekend. That actually changed this week, and you'll see that, but I'm just pulling out some stickers from the Paper Studio sticker book I purchased at Hobby Lobby a while ago. And I'm just trying to work through some of my sticker books because there's a lot of stickers in these things, and I want to use what I have, even though I keep purchasing more. So I put that weekend plans hanging sticker on the weekend. I thought that was kind of appropriate given that it's on Saturday, right? And then I just labeled out some programs that I had, and while I'm labeling things out, I'm going back to my monthly spread and kind of peeking at it to see what my plans are, because I reference my monthlies to plan my weeklies, and then I reference my weeklies to plan my dailies. So it's like a little staggered bit of planning. And I'm just looking for some functional boxes here. It's almost like choice paralysis because there's so many. And these sticker books are not made for the Hobonichi columns, so I usually just end up trimming it with my little trimmer there. And then I usually put a sticker on the side that I trim because I never get that cut straight at all. It's like physically impossible for me to do that. So I think I put a coffee mug sticker because this is me noting that I'm working the circulation desk that hour, and circulation desk work requires coffee. It just does. So I put that symbol on it to just note and draw it to my attention that I needed to go to the circulation desk at that hour. And then up top, I actually wrote down a story time that I had planned for the morning at a local elementary school. And then I wrote in the desk hours. And then after that, I wrote in my other programs for Monday. So I lay out all of my work hours and then I go back in and fill them out one at a time because it's just easier to do it all at once for like the arrows and stuff. And you'll see that I do smudge them pretty frequently. I've kind of given up on that fight. It's just no longer something I'm really concerned about. It's gonna happen. So I'm trimming this box. It's the same box as the one before. I just turned it around and making sure that it's straight. And this is a program that I had later in the day for our teen patrons, and we hosted a Black History Month video screening of the movie Drumline with Nick Cannon, and if you haven't seen that movie, you should watch it. It's really great. I love it a lot. But so I marked that in because I wanted to remember that I needed to be in the meeting room at the library for that event. And then I go into the next day and I marked that I had another program at 10 in the morning again, and it was a science homeschool class where we discussed the states of matter for grades 6 through 8. They did an infograph type of craft where they demonstrated their understanding of what a solid, liquid, and a gas is, and they had to come up with their own definitions and their own examples, and it was fairly easy for that grade range, but it's just something that gets them out of the house and gets them doing something different. And then down at the bottom, our teens have an anime and manga club that meets bi-monthly, so that's always at 6 p.m. on a Tuesday, usually 2 Tuesdays a month. And then I go in and I realize that I have a program on Saturday, so I actually covered up some of my hours on Thursday because when I work on a weekend where I'm not scheduled to work, I leave early on a work day earlier in the week to kind of offset those hours. So it was kind of actually serendipitous because that arrow had smudged, so I just covered it up with this flag sticker, and then I wrote in that my hours actually ended at 2 instead of 4:30. And then I go in and grab a sticker from the Coffee Monsters Co. freebie pack that I purchased from last year. And it's the Clean the House freebie because I knew I wanted to work on some laundry and clean my bathroom and, just straighten up some areas of my house after I got home from work. So I put that down, and it was just perfect for that because it covered up my smudge, and it was something that I knew I was going to do as soon as I got home. And then I went in and marked off the programs that I had on the Saturday that made my Thursday shorter. So Read Across America Day is this week, and that's also known as Dr. Seuss's birthday, but I just try to make it more inclusive by just saying Read Across America. We throw a party and we do a story time and we have the Cat in the Hat, and a bunch of kids come to it and they really enjoy it. So I wrote that down in my planner just to remember that I do need to go into work on Saturday to host that program and set up for it and take it down. And then I go back to Wednesday because I remembered that I have to work the desk shift for the majority of the day on Wednesdays. I'm usually the main person there, so I work from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then I had a meeting right after I got off the desk, so I marked that in, I believe, with a sticker again from the Coffee Monsters Co. And I'm just looking for another icon here to mark my second desk shift. So I work 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the desk, and then I take a lunch, and then I go right back at 2 to 3. And then I leave once our evening worker relieves me at 3 p.m. But I did have that meeting that I wanted to remember, and this is where things kind of change when you plan ahead like I am. While I'm posting this the week after the week is over, things ended up changing where this meeting actually happened on Thursday. So I just simply drew an arrow to the next day across the gutter and highlighted it in green to match the spread, and just kind of went along with my business because I couldn't really lift up that sticker after the adhesive had adhered to the page. So I also wrote that I worked the desk at 1 to 2, so I had to go back in later in the week and fix that because I do not work the desk from 1 to 2. That was my lunch, so I worked the desk from 2 to 3. And at the time, I did not notice that I put that I had a meeting and a desk shift at the same time. So that is just how things changed as the week progressed. And I forgot to add in my trash reminder. We have our trash pickup on Wednesday mornings, and I just like to go around and take out all of the trash from the garbage cans around the house and make sure that everything's ready to be picked up. And then I go back in and write some tasks that I wanted to remember to do throughout the week. And then for Thursday, I had some other tasks that I wanted to do, such as write or submit my statistic reports from the month and begin planning for April. And then I just wrote in that I was going to do chores on the flag because I hadn't noted that. And then I am going through and I try to do an Instagram post every other day on my Bookstagram account. And I write down a little reminder by just putting IG at the bottom of my day every other day on my weekly spread. But like I said, as the week progresses, things change, and I didn't actually get to post anything until Friday. So then I go back into Monday, and I'm just adding a few more to-dos and notes that I want to focus on for the day. And I usually use this to prompt me when I open my daily page for the day to see what I need to start working on. And then usually by the time I've written down the things that I have in my weekly on my dailies, I thought of some more tasks that I need to get done. So I end up, this is like a starter to-do list, and then I expand on it in the dailies so that I can jog my memory of what I need to be doing. So for Tuesday, I had a couple of plans that I need to make. I needed to find a designer, which I still have not found, so that's awesome. I love that for me. And then I needed to draft an email to the governor's office for our National Library Week programs. And then I go through my stickers that I keep in my clear pocket from pen, paper, and plans in the front because I wanted to make sure that there was nothing in there that I couldn't use in this spread, because I am trying to prioritize using up some of those stickers first, just so I can kind of move on from them. But I am pulling some more stickers from my sticker book that I got from Shine Sticker Studio. It's their Magical Girls sticker book. And I'm just looking through to see if there's anything else that I can add to this spread before I move on. And I did use part of this freebie from Nib and Fleur, and I used items from another freebie from Kubo and Lucy Stationery Co. So I just added a little extra bits and pieces in the corners of the spread just to kind of add a little bit more detail. And then I did that swatch from Nib and Fleur. So then I moved on to my March monthly page, and this is another place where I do some tracking. Essentially, I refer to this after I finish my weekly, and I apologize here for so much shaking. I don't know what is going on there. Obviously, I know what's going on there. My desk is hitting my camera, but I guess I just didn't notice that at the time, so I apologize for that. But I just go in and track a couple of different habits. I've said on my channel before that I suffer from depression and anxiety, so I don't always have the forethought to like brush my hair or do like basic grooming because I'm so in my head, and that really bothers me. So I make sure that I track that because I want to look presentable and not like a shaggy dog. So I track that and just try to, and this also includes like skincare and things like that. Like I put that all under the grooming habit because I know when I see grooming what I'm prompting myself to do, but it's stuff like brush your hair, do some skincare, put on some makeup, like just try to look presentable that day. It doesn't happen every day. Sometimes it's just I brush my hair and I'm good to go. And then some days I am motivated to do all of the things and I look like a shined pony. It just really depends on my anxiety and depression levels. So, and then I also track my medicine that I take for my depression and anxiety just to make sure that I'm taking it every day at the same time to make it the most effective it can be. And then I lay down some washi that I used also in the weekly spread as well. I have no idea where I got this washi. It was probably from Hobby Lobby or Michael's, one of the two. And then I'm incorporating some of those AliExpress stickers back into the March page that I used, like the ones on the weekly. So I used the circular one, and I put it down here just to highlight a quote later on. I also use this page to track what books I end up reading throughout the month. And I just like to track when I start it, when I finish it, and the title and the author, because I like to have another visual. I do a lot of planning in my A5 rings with my reading, like that's my reading planner, but I like to just note it here as well. And this cute little girl sticker, she had a green bandana on, and I thought that was just a nice note to incorporate into the spread. I really liked how she just had that little bit of green and then that was it. And so I put her up there. I also got those stickers from AliExpress a while ago. And then I added that other additional swatch from the Nib and Fleur freebie. And I put in the palm frond there. And I do put some more stickers down that are more of like a tropical nature as opposed to the leafy ones that I did on the weekly spread. Because it bothered me that they weren't the same kind of style, if that makes any sense. So I tried to make them as the same style as possible. And then I just put in a quote from the farmhouse sticker book from the paper studio. And I add a little bit more leaves. I think these are like water lily leaves or something like that. I'm not quite sure. But they give like a water effect in a sense. So I thought that went well with just the tropical theme that this spread had with the green palm fronds and things like that. And then I pulled out another sticker book from the Paper Studio, also from Hobby Lobby, just to add in a little bit more detail at the bottom. And then I'm going in with my fountain pen and ruler to mark off my currently reading log, and I put in the dates of when I start and when I finish, and I'm looking back at February's to just check my style of how I do this. So I just did start and then finish, and then also I do the author and the title. And this is basically mostly off screen, and I apologize for that. I have to tilt my sheet and my paper, whatever I'm writing with, I have to tilt it a lot just to make sure that I write things the way I wanted to write them. So that is my setup, and that's what I have for this week. So I hope you all enjoyed, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. And I hope you'll consider subscribing and giving me a thumbs up. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.